What's up, guys? Today I have for you my best 20-minute French treaty strategy, and it involves a very easy and very beginner-friendly strategy that doesn't involve a whole lot of micro-macro play, and is just a very consistent strategy that works pretty much every single time you play, with very consistent results that give you an absolute insane setup at the end of the treaty, or just at the end of the 20-minute game if you choose to play. So to start out, we just want to, get all of our herds ready, and start scouting out the map. A lot of the play doesn't get too intense early on, but it does as we start aging up towards the industrial and fortress age. But until then, it's just a very laid-back strategy. You don't really have to do too much. Just, get your herds ready, set up. And we do want to age with 14 settlers. So to queue up, we only actually going to need just to create 11 of them. Yeah, because we're going to send a three villager card. But to make this strategy work, this is a deck that we're going to be running. Just for the sake of showing you that you don't really need a lot of cards. This is all we're going to need. It's just 9 cards to get a complete setup in 20 minutes. And actually, as you'll see, as we slowly get towards the end of the treaty, we have a spare shipment that we can actually use, which can be used for anything really. If you need to get, like a refrigeration, you can do that. If you need to get a the Royal Mint or anything like that, you can go ahead and do it. But at its very core, it's just these 9 cards. So with our first shipment, we're going to send the 3 settlers, and we're going to get all of them on food until we have enough to age up. And so again, 14 settlers start, so we just need 1 more. And basically right now I'm just kind of scouting the entire map. I really do like this map. This is Painted Desert, if you are unfamiliar with it. I think it's a very balanced map. The natives are really good for once you get your, once the treaty does end. But again, this doesn't have to be treaty. This can be just, normal supremacy. But I found that if you just, really focus on this, you're pretty much going to be unstoppable in any treaty game that you play, or even like a free-for-all if you choose to do that. But moral of the story is it's just a 20-minute strategy that is incredibly consistent. And yeah, I hope you guys like it. So right now I'm just kind of scouting the map. I see a nice treasure right here. This is 75 food, so I'm going to go ahead and try and snag that as early as I can. We're also playing on an expert bot, if that even makes any difference, but it's just to show that it doesn't really matter what you play against. You're pretty much going to win, because the setup's just really good. It's so funny to see some of the things. Like right now we have like 600 food with just the settler training. It doesn't look like we're going to get to it, but we actually are going to begin the age up before the settler is even done. I'm not the greatest at kiting these camps, but I'll try and do it. So I'm going to now crack shot the last one. Grab that. Oops. And we're going to age up with 400 wood, and then we're going to send 4 settlers during the age up and kind of spread them around the map to different wood sources to any place that we need them. So I'm just going to choose this one right there, that one, and this one back there. That's a very small one, but we could switch it up later if we so need to. And now, we don't really have the greatest gold mine spots on this map, but our next set of settlers, we are going to send 5 onto a further gold mine, and then once those 5 have been completed, we're going to send another 5 onto the closer gold mine. And the reason why we do that is because if we were to just send 10 villagers onto this single gold mine, they're just going to run out of gold before we can actually get the industrial age. And it's just a small time-saving strategy that I found to work really well. And so we're actually not going to use our shipment just yet. We will save it for the, oh, that's a fat treasure. We're going to save it for the colonial age to get 4 settlers. And those 4 settlers will be going on wood, just to try and get things ahead of schedule. And we're going to try to age up anywhere between 26 and 30 villagers. It's not like a mandatory number, but it's just what works, really. Whatever you find to work the best. So I'm going to slowly chip away at this camp if they don't kill me immediately. So that's good. And just send the scouting pretty much everywhere across the map, since you get a free scout, which is really nice. These cows, I'm not even needed for them. Any cows that you get, you can herd with them, give them to any of your teammates that need them. but unnecessary for this strategy. And so I'll send in the 4 settlers a little bit late, but it's whatever. And then we're gonna send this guy back here to make the market right now. And then we're only going to want to build houses enough so that way we have 80 population, including 2 town centers. So for example, right now we have 30 population. We're gonna end up getting to 80, and so just assume that we have 2 more, so we're at 50. So we need to build 3 more until we have 80. And then in terms of market, we're gonna go placer mines, and then we're gonna go for gang saw, and we're not gonna go for the what's this thing called, the hunting dogs just yet. We're going to wait for the placer mines to get, and then we're gonna get the secondary upgrade to it. I forget what it's called, and then we're gonna get hunting dogs last. Reason for that is because gold is pretty much the hardest thing that we need to get as of right now, and that's just gonna take time. So I'm gonna try and get my explorer, keep kiting back there, but the second this upgrade's done, queue it up, and then queue up hunting dogs, and then we'll try and get these AFK villagers working if they choose to do so. But oh no, I thought I dragged them back far enough. Guess not. But we're gonna keep sending these guys on that immediately. So just like before, we only need 3 more houses, so we're just gonna do 1, 2, 3, and that will be enough for right now. We're gonna build all of our houses later, but that is all that is required currently. So with our next shipment, we're gonna send economic theory. This is just a great generic card that improves everything. I guess it's not technically needed, but it definitely helps getting your resources up early, since it just helps everything out, and not one specific resource, just everything early on. So very important. So our explorer is very low. I'm gonna go ahead and grab this treasure, and then I'm going to try and do something a little bit cheeky, but I don't know how well it's going to work out, considering the fact that our explorer is incredibly low. I'm going to try and tank it with that treasure with our scout. But our first 5 gold mine settlers are done, so we're going to transition to the closer one right there. And then I'll go ahead and grab these 2 guys. I really want to grab that, but I think my explorer is just too low. So I'm going to see if I can... Oh, maybe not. Maybe the bot's going to help me out. Alright, so I guess in a normal situation this would never happen. I'm going to take the XP for him and take the treasure. I guess eventually I would have gotten it. But shout out to the bot for helping me. But actually, the bigger the map, the more players you have in the game, the better the strategy becomes. So for example, like I do this strategy typically a lot in 3v3s with my friends. It's very consistent. I've been saying that word so many times, but it truly is. I think this is one of the top-notch strategies for a any game that you play with French. And so as we're closing up towards the age, I'm going to bring the explorer back if he doesn't die. That's a bit of a backset. I completely forgot he has the blockhouse. So we actually may have to spend 1,000 gold, which truly is unfortunate. That was not planned at all. But I'll go ahead and cancel these 2 villagers. And then I'll start the age up to the fortress, and we're going to go for the exiled prince as our age up, just to get him back faster. So I think that's actually really unfortunate how our explorer died. I didn't pay attention to his health. Because the European civs can't make the town centers with their villagers. That's going to set us back a little bit, so we do need the explorer again. That's a shame. But for these last settlers, I'll try and get them herded down here. We have a herd at the top I'll try and get to. But keep in mind that we do need 2 more villagers on this gold mine, since we only have 8 right now. But we did manage to hit the 26 villager age up. I guess considering the fact that we got the that gold treasure from our guy. But next shipment we're going to send land grab, and then we're immediately going to make our explorer build a town center somewhere, doesn't really matter where, and then immediately another one, but we'll keep up that one first. So we need 2 more villagers in gold, and then after that we're going to make 2 more villagers to go in wood for an even 10 number on all. And then with these 2 new ones, the reason why we're saying land grab is because I did the math, and I think it's around like 2,000 plus wood that you save overall, since we're actually going to start making a mill next. And I know it's a bit maybe a bit weird to be making a mill already, considering we have maybe like 2 bison down there, a couple herds up top. But again, this is just it's what I found to work really well. And it's a lot less stressful in the, you know, gathering the guys. You're gonna still have 10 guys working on food. It's not like you're gonna be sending all these guys onto mills. They're just not gonna be all on, I guess, the most efficient one. But with the certain resources that we get, and if you were to have any cards that could, you know, help a mill out, it really works. So we're gonna immediately make 10 guys on that, and we're gonna start the mill. We'll do that. We'll just let my do that. And because this is a gold line that we started with first, this will run out. So I'm just gonna select all 5, work on that, and then shift click to the next mine. So we're gonna just immediately work on that one next. But we have 5 guys working on 5 guys being produced to go in this mill. 1 more guy going on our wood source before we transition to another mill. In this town center will help complete this mill right there, with the new resources on it. Or because this one may be done not as quick, we'll go ahead and get a new mill up, and then we'll have this one going to that, and this one also working on this one. Or sorry, this town center is going to make 5 villagers to go into this mill. This town center is working on this mill as well. This one will be working on 10 for this mill, individually. So once this is done, we'll get our guys up. And so also you do want to kind of pay attention to how much food you have, because we can actually age with the amount of food. And so this is where it does kind of involve somewhat of like a lot of thinking. So keep in mind, we're going to have 5 on this. So I'm going to get rid of 3. I'm going to get rid of 1, and I'm going to get rid of 2 right here as well. And so if you just kind of keep track in your mind, just training 1 villager at a time, going to which one to each mill, it's going to get us a nice easy industrial age with having consistent villagers pop out. It's just to help me keep track of what I'm doing, really, because we almost have the age and we want to constantly produce villagers. So we're going to save the shipment right here, because we're going to go for immediately 10 villagers when it spawns. This one will be, I guess we'll age with this town center then. Oops. So we'll get the 1,000 chests of gold. And then from that, we are going to want to start making more vills. So we're getting another one on that one, which makes us having, so that's going to have 3. Look at another villager in that one. And we're still going to need a couple more for that one. This mill as well. Sorry if I'm not being too clear on what exactly I'm saying. It's just, it's hard to keep track of all the villagers when you're training them, like masses. But I went ahead and upgraded the wood again, because we're going to need it. And then as well, I'm going to make a church back here as well. Now, this is incredibly important to the strategy. You are absolutely going to need the church. It's how you get a massive advantage on your opponent, and you get all these shipments at one time. But we're aging to industrial with 13 minutes, 7 minutes left in the treaty, about halfway there. Consistent villagers, so this will be the 4th one, and that'll be the 5th one. Let's try and keep track of them. So we have 8 going on to that, and we'll go ahead and max out that one as well. And then this town center, I'll make producing 5 onto wood. Then we can finish up the 5 on that one as well. So let me say that again, because that sounded incredibly complicated. So this town center right here is going to finish off the 10 villagers for this mill right here. This town center is going to finish off the villagers as well. So all 10 for this mill in particular. We're going to level up and get the Corps des Bois, 10 of them. And this town center, the one that's not producing anyone, the one that we age with, is going to make villagers on wood, because we still need 20 guys on wood. So right now we have 5 going to wood. We have this mill complete, and so we're going to go ahead and get more guys. And this time we're going to start a plantation. And so, because we already have, remember, there's still 10 guys working on food from the animals, and there's 10 guys on this mine, so we're going to start a new one, making 10 more for the plantation. We're going to send the mercantilism, which is going to absolutely destroy the economy. Sorry, not destroy the economy. And then these guys are AFK, if I can see. Sorry, when they get clumped up, it's kind of hard for me to see things. So, that guy's not working as well. So we're going to send these 10 villagers right there. And then that mill is actually done, which means we need more guys on the wood temporarily, and we're going to go ahead and send our 3 shipments to get 2 factories and the thoroughbreds. And then all of the food workers that we had gathering are slowly going to go towards the mill. And then these guys are actually going on the coin. It's just a matter of whenever I get enough to make the plantation. So let me go ahead and make this really quick. This plantation, and this town center is going to have 5 on that. And this will go ahead and train 5 more for that one. But basically, if it's very complicated what I'm saying, and I know it kind of is, because it does get much more stressful as you age on. The industrial age to fortress is definitely the most stressful part of this entire thing. It's just keeping track of all your villagers. So we have 10 villagers on that, 10 villagers on that, and there's 4 on that, and we're having 6 to complete that plantation. So that makes sense. This town center is sending villagers to wood, which is good. And then this town center right here is not working. These guys need to go to food as well, which makes this town center producing guys to go into that mill right there. So with 30 guys on coin, 30 guys on food, the rest of the villagers from these 2 town centers will all go to wood as of right now. So let me go ahead and send this guys right there. We'll go ahead and make some wood just because we need the Gendarme shipment. So I'll go ahead and put the max amount of villagers on wood right now. That's actually going to wood, but I'll take off 3, put 3 right there. Sorry, I lied. I'm just doing this just to make it even, much more even spread of villagers. But we'll go ahead and upgrade our market, or our plantation, to get more. And then from this point on, we are actually just set on villagers. We can let everyone AFK. Our town centers will produce everyone 30 on food, 20 on wood, and 30 on coin. And so during this time, we can actually transition now to make our factories produce food and coin, because that's the most resource that we're going to be needing. And then also during this time, I'll go ahead and just start a small wall around our base, just so that way we're completely protected from the enemy if they choose to attack the second that the treaty is done. Or you can do this much earlier if you are not playing treaty, and well, I'd always recommend walling. And then what's really nice about this map is it has like natural pillars that you can use as foundations for your actual base. But don't forget, we still actually need to get the houses, so I'm just going to switch back these factories to wood just to get more for houses. And really, these are just whatever you need. It's not so what you keep on food and coin just for your army. It's just whatever resource you need at the time. So we do need 12 more houses. So I'll go ahead and slowly start making 12. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 2 more houses. So I'm just going to go ahead and shift click all those to make sure that he's going to do them all. Now we'll get 2 more built. So we're going to have max population right there. And then I'm going to go ahead and send and make another one, build a stable. And if I don't know if I mentioned this already, but this is pretty much just like a Gendarme spam French strategy, because you're playing the French. Why else would you make any other unit except Gendarmes? They're literally the most powerhouse unit in the game, in my opinion. They just take dumps on anything. It really doesn't matter what they are. And you're going to want to go ahead and slowly just start making your explorer work on the 2 trade posts when they come up. Because actually the Apaches and the Navajos have a very good upgrades for your for natives. I think they have some of the best ones. And like I mentioned earlier, we do have 1 shipment available. But now in terms of strategy, this is all you need. And so you have how many cards is that? 16 other cards that you can choose to make. So it's whatever you need. But we're gonna go ahead and ship the Gendarme upgrade. And I already bought the cavalry faster one. I didn't really mention that earlier, but we got that for faster cav. I'm gonna go ahead and build an arsenal right now. And so I'm not gonna go Imperial Age because I just want to demonstrate how it's entirely possible to have an army built in with everything at the time right now. And I'm gonna go ahead and upgrade these walls so that we have that too. What was he? He was a woodworker, wasn't he? And so I'm just gonna go ahead and get the cavalry the chest plate thing, so that way our gendarmes have more hit points. And if you have a more balanced army, obviously, you know, build your skirms, build your artillery and stuff like that. But we have one unit in the game, and it's probably the best unit in the game. But I'm going to demonstrate to you how it looks like we have nothing, and the second the treaty ends, full army immediately. And so I'm going to go ahead and capture these two trade posts to take them, and then I'm going to go ahead and set these factories on coin for that, and then we'll start advancing. So this is like, again, like if you had like a coin shipment that you need, you know, build that. If you want to get the royal mint or the, you know, the plantation roller thing, go ahead and do that. Because your gendarmes actually produce so much XP when you make them, because they're such tanky units to make. But that is that. And so with the treaty being ended, we can just send all of our troops in, try and kill everything. And again, this is a bot, so it's nothing too hard at all, actually. But we'll go ahead and take the Russian guy out. From this point, we can just keep making the gendarmes. Thanks to them being a lot cheaper. They're still expensive as hell. With our the coin, you know, the coin being very slow. But that's pretty much that. I guess he has a horse gun coming for us. But you know, if you have any other shipments that you need to send, go for it. But that's pretty much that. The economy's set up. Everything's set up. We just need to pretty much just get coin. And so once we actually reach approximately 4,000 wood, we can actually send all of our woodworkers off of it and just strictly be on food and coin to complete the Holy Trinity. Because we don't need any more wood for the strategy. We can just let the factories honestly produce the rest of it. And so with an excess of wood right now, I'm just going to go ahead and start making plantations, since that's what we actually need right now. But besides that, this is just a strategy to get set up this far. And unfortunately, I mean, the bot does kind of have a handicap on, so it is a little bit unfair in terms of unit attack and, you know, speed and stuff like that, but it's whatever. It's in a normal game, it's never gonna happen. But let's save the village before he dies. No. But that's the strategy. An incredibly good setup. Oh, I forgot to buy that. Look at that. That's a small misplay. But we have spammable units that will just shred them. But that's pretty much that. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, or if you know any other better way to possibly do this, which I'm guaranteed there is, considering the fact that we only used 9 cards and still have 3 shipments remaining. Most of the time I would send like a royal mint, because that's typically what we run out first for some reason. And I think it's because we produce a lot of food earlier, and it just happens to be that we do really just run out of coin sooner. But that's pretty much it. I'll go ahead and show you guys the page at the very end of the post game to try and make this as quick as possible. But as you can see, I mean, we still out-resourced in every way against, I mean, an expert bot, and that's just to show how, you know, I mean, they have handicap on, if you didn't know, so you do everything faster than you. But score is pretty decent in terms of resources. A lot of resources. Military is instant cav, which is absolutely amazing. More XP too, but most importantly, we hit the max villager count at 18 minutes and 18 seconds, which is pretty good. Very good. Most of the time you do hit it there. Sometimes it's a little bit later, maybe 19 minutes. Sometimes you do get earlier. Fastest I've ever gotten it was 17:55, so actually right there. Which is, I mean, at this point in the game, we just needed one more. So it's just a matter of, we had a little bit of food the previous time. But that's that. I'll go ahead and show you a more optimal deck, which is these two right here. So whenever I do this, most of the time I do it in a 3v3. So this is like a team card deck, really. So I have, you know, the early skirmishers and the team ranged infantry attack. This is just for my allies, really. I don't use these at all. I just go pure horses, since I think they're just monsters. But if you're doing a solo queue game or a free-for-all, something like that, 1v1, this is a more solo-based deck, but it can still make changes. The mercenaries are just really whenever it's needed. But at the very core, it's just 9 cards that you need, and it's these 9. And again, you do have 1 extra shipment before the treaty ends, so you can use it on whatever you want. But I'd recommend just getting the eco upgrades. So like your Royal Mint, your Refrigeration, and Textile Mill. But that is that. I hope you all enjoyed the strategy. Please let me know if there's any possible way to do this better, because I'm sure there definitely is. But yeah, thank you all for watching. See you guys later.